Way down.
We're recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rockstars on the Rise series. Whee! I am really excited for this series and all of you who are participating. I think it's going to be really fun and rewarding. It will probably make you stretch and go out of your comfort zone a little bit. Your business will grow, you will grow, and we will probably grow together. And because we're going to be kind of butter and jelly for the next few days, you also might find yourself with some new friendships by the time we're done. So just as an overview, the 4 calls will be, of course, tonight, the 18th, the 25th, which are all Wednesdays. But in October, when we do the last call, it's going to be Tuesday, October 1st. Okay, so mark your calendars for that at 8:30 p.m. via Zoom using this same link every single week. Got it? What the heck is going on with the back of you, David?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to hide the messy room.
Oh, come on, you know I'm like ADD. All right, so our weekly calls are going to be focused on skills and habits that are needed to be a rock star and have a consistent above national show average show and to build a team. However, as important as these calls are, they are just one ingredient in the cake. I like to say that the calls are like the flour, and the flour is super important, but as important as it is, it's still only one ingredient. Getting together via Zoom, having fun, learning together, cheering each other on, feeding off of each other's enthusiasm, sharing ideas, along with holding weekly coaching calls with me. These are the eggs, the oil, and the sugar. So you want to make sure to include all the ingredients during this series, so at the end you end up with a nice cake and not just a big bowl of flour. Okay? All right. So next I want to share what you can expect from me during this series. All right? You can expect that I will carve out time for the two of us to talk once a week for 20 to 30 minutes one-on-one for coaching. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Excuse me. You can expect that I will come to these Zoom calls prepared and excited. You can expect that I will be available for 3-way phone calls or 3-way Facebook chats with your recruit leads. You can expect that I will carve out time to talk briefly with you after each party for like a debrief call. You can expect weekly assignments that take into account that I know you all have very busy lives. It's not going to be any busy work. You're already doing shows. You're already host coaching. So most of the assignments are going to be more about tweaking what you're already doing for greater results than it's going to be adding anything extra on your plate. And you can expect that I will walk the walk and not just talk the talk. Sound good to everybody?
Yep.
Okay. So now what I expect from you guys. I expect that you'll be on the calls each week unless something really big gets in the way. Because like I said, it's not just the information from these calls, but it's the connections we make. It's the enthusiasm and ideas we share. Because this is not meant to be a Karen Batty monologue. Well, I mean, for the first 10 minutes, yes. But after that, no. It's supposed to be, sharing of ideas. I expect that you'll be engaged on the calls. And what I mean by that is don't just come to listen, but be ready to share. I expect that you guys will encourage and cheer each other on. I expect that you will message or email me each Sunday to let me know your show schedule for the week and your dedicated office hours or pockets of time. And that'll be listed in sort of like the assignments. It's going to be that. Why? Because it's important to work office hours, to choose your office hours if you want a strong business. And because if I know what your show schedule is like, I can expect when I'm going to get a call from you. I expect that you'll hold weekly coaching calls with me and reach out after every party for a quick call. I expect that you will be willing to try new things and sometimes maybe even go out of your comfort zone. I expect that you will complete weekly assignments within the time frame allotted. And guess what? I expect that you'll add team members this month and that you'll promote to team leader or even director and get a raise, or maybe even 2 raises this month. And that's it. Not so scary, right? And you guys know that I love to have fun, so it's my expectation that we are also going to be having fun together. So before we move on, any questions about expectations?
Nope, they're great.
Okay. I can hear a cricket literally outside my window, so it's like crickets.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Yes, Erica, you're muted. So, oh, you've got a cricket, you mean?
5 crickets?
5 crickets. Oh, I heard that's good luck if you have crickets.
Excellent.
Ah, so there you go. You're really lucky. All right. So I would like to start with getting to know each other. So I want us to do some brief introductions. I'd like you guys to tell your name, how long you've been in business, and I want you to think of kind of your life experience, and I want you to share one thing that you think is a strength that you bring to the Pampered Chef table. I'll start because if you're wondering what the heck is she talking about, I'll give you an example. So I'm Karen Batty. I've been with Pampered Chef 23 years. Many of you know I used to be a nurse. So one of the things I bring to the table is I can easily walk into a room, assess the situation quickly, and with just 40% of the information that I would like to have, I can kind of make a quick decision and run with it. And sometimes that's an asset in the business like this. I'm also pretty good at coming up with words to say when someone has a hesitation, either about booking or the business. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right.
I'm David Sirota. I have been with the Pampered Chef, which time?
Off and on for?
Off and on since 2009. And I'm still in my first 90 days. And I feel that I bring to the table an ability to talk to anyone and present things in a way that people actually listen to what I'm saying.
I would agree with that, for sure. All right, who wants to go next?
Oh, and I'm tall.
Pardon?
Erica, you are the next one who is not muted, so why don't you go ahead?
Okay, great. Sounds good. Okay, so my name is Erica. I technically signed at the end of January, and then I went on a honeymoon to Costa Rica. So I feel like I've had a bit of a slow start, but it's okay. Like, that's not the end of the world, and I'm really looking forward to this bit. I bring to the table 13 years of internet marketing and follow-up via phone, text, and email. I worked in the automotive industry, so overcoming objections, knowing how to handle and approach overcoming objections, which can sometimes like be overwhelming. Scheduling, follow-up. I also have a culinary arts degree, so I find that my hosts feel like they learn a lot from me, so that's cool. And then leadership skills. Yeah, I had a concentration in leadership at culinary and hospitality school, so yeah, those all play together quite nicely here at Pampered Chef.
Yeah, kind of all meets here.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks.
That's kind of a rough act or a tough act to follow.
Sorry, guys. Have fun.
Kelly, you want to go next? I see you're on.
So I'm Kelly. I was with the Pampered Chef back in, I think it was 2016 when I looked back the other day through all my parties.
Oh, okay.
Just started back the end of August 30th. What I bring to the table is I'm an EMT, so if anyone starts dying, I can save you.
There you go.
I also have my bachelor's degree in human services, so I love finding ways to help people. So that's my thing.
And so, you know what? Having being an EMT isn't just good if for in emergency situations. Like I said, I think it makes it so you can think on your feet very quickly.
Yeah.
And even if you don't really 100% know what you're doing, you can make it look like you do, right?
Yes.
And you can talk to anybody.
That's
It's talk
true.
people through crisis mode all the time.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Welcome back. Not even 2 weeks on the job. Okay, Lynn.
Hi, my name is Lynn. I'm the only one left to talk, so you can obviously see who I am. Anyway, let's see. I started with Pampered Chef. I've been in it a year and a half, so February of last year. And as I was sitting here listening to everyone else, I was like, what do I bring to the table? So I'm going to say I probably bring the ability to talk to strangers. That is something that I can do very well, and it doesn't matter where I am. Doesn't necessarily mean I am talking to them about Pampered Chef. I could be talking to them about anything, and then easily can drop the Pampered Chef into the conversation. And I also bring a pretty good, thank you for the thumbs up, a pretty good sense of humor. I pretty much can make anyone laugh at any time. It's not always a good thing, but I that really hard. And I try not to take my life my whole thing seriously, because I try to throw my humor into everything that I do, because in a tough spot, if you're making someone laugh, I think it kind of breaks the ice and allows you to say things that you probably wouldn't normally say. So, and I have 13 years of customer service behind me. So I think that's why I have the ability to just talk to anyone about anything.
Plus, you're a pretty great cook, too.
Plus, I really love to cook, so I can fake it really well.
Awesome.
I'm sorry it's so dark.
So you guys are all rock stars on the rise. You were personally invited out of a lot of team members to participate in this call series. And I want you to know I've been doing this for 23 plus years, and I know a future rock star when I see one. It was not a mistake that you were invited to participate. Pampered Chef rock stars, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but there are a few things that I think all rock stars have in common. Number one, Pampered Chef rock stars have goals for their business. They know what they'd love to achieve and why. Number two, they have the ability to buckle down and work their business around life happenings. Not perfectly, but adequately. Okay? You guys all got your September calendars in shape to be here. So guess what? Even if you don't quite feel like a rock star yet, you are already showing signs of being one. Rock stars come to trainings like this, even if it makes them a little bit nervous. Are any of you a little nervous? No one's nervous. That's awesome. Okay. Because I was going to say, if you are a little nervous, that's okay, because that's actually a true sign of being a rock star, because you're doing it scared. It's easy to do something that isn't scary, but it takes a true rock star to do something that makes those little hairs on the back of the neck stand up. Number four, Pampered Chef rock stars stay in touch with me and others. The connections we make help us all. People who tend to work in isolation, even if they come to the table with some great skills, don't tend to do as well as those who connect and work with others. Pampered Chef rock stars do better when they work in groups with other rock stars. And it's a distinct possibility that long after our 30 days together here is done, you will have made long-lasting connections that will bring you not just more success, but also more joy in your business and life in years to come. So guys, you have what it takes to create and keep a strong show schedule and build a team. You might not have all the skills and habits in place just yet, but that's exactly what this call series is all about. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So what do you guys think is the first and most crucial step in developing a self-sustaining calendar and building a team?
Finding parties, booking parties.
Having a show calendar, a strong show calendar. Yes. You guys all work to get your calendar in shape to be here. So tonight we're not going to really be focusing on filling an empty calendar. Although if any of you want to add more parties to your calendar, you can go into Avengers and do a search for the Rockstars on the Rise call number 1, because that call was all about finding parties outside of your parties. And also, you can do a search for the Zero to Zoom recording that was led by Kathy Dalphonse. Tons of kind of out-of-the-box ideas there to fill your calendar. And I will share one kind of cool idea that has worked in the past for others. And if you like the wording, I will post it in our little group chat we got going on, so you don't have to worry about writing the words down. But if you want to beef up your calendar a little more, you can say something like this. Hi, whoever you're talking to. I've been invited to take part in a training series to become one of Pampered Chef's next field leaders. In order to participate, however, I need to have a certain number of September parties, and I'm one short. Would you be willing to have a few friends over so I can teach you how to make a lava cake that tastes like a big greasy peanut butter cup? I don't care if we have 3 people there or 23. I really just need one more show on the books. What do you think? So if you like it, you can use that for virtual, for in-home. If you don't want to talk up the lava cake with the peanut butter, you can talk up whatever recipe you like.
I like it.
All right, so give that a try. Give it a whirl. Because seriously, guys, you can never have too many shows on the books. It's true. So, but tonight we're really going to be focusing on what to do to keep your calendar full. Because once you've worked hard to get it full, you don't want to go back and have to do that over and over again. You want to be able to just move, gain momentum from that. You want to go to your parties, sell like a crazy person, book future parties, and find people to join your team. So we're going to be focusing on what to do to keep your calendar full. We're going to discuss first for a few minutes why having a strong show schedule is key, and then the skills and habits that are needed to keep it going. Because let's face it, it's one thing to know how to do something, and it's another thing to actually do the something, right? So first of all, there's many reasons, but why is a solid show schedule so key for long-term and even short-term success in this business?
Otherwise, you don't have anybody to present anything to.
Right. We have to see enough, right? We can know how to get bookings, we can know how to sell, and we can know how to recruit. But if we don't have enough people in front of us, our skills don't matter at all. Hey, Josh. Did I see a little note from Josh? Oh, yeah. Hey, he's on. Great. Welcome.
Josh is being shy tonight.
Yeah. So, Josh, we're talking about why having a strong show schedule is so important to success. And, oh, he's still at work. Okay. So David brought up being in front of enough people, right? It doesn't matter our skill level. If we are not in front of enough people to sell and book and recruit, it doesn't much matter. And I used to say all the time, I am living proof that doing an imperfect demo in front of, enough people will get you a lot further in this business than doing a perfect demo in front of a very small group of people. Okay? Why else? How about practice? If you want to get good at something, practice makes perfect, right? So if we're going to be working on selling skills for higher sales, if we're going to be working on host coaching to get more attendance, well, how are you going to get good at that? You're going to get good at that by doing it. And the more practice, the better off you're going to be. Sometimes, and I find this has been true in the past, sometimes people will go through a series like this, and if they don't have a strong show schedule, they think, I'm not a great recruiter, or I'm not a great salesperson because I don't have the numbers that person has. When very often it's not the case at all. The skill set is there. What's not there is the sheer volume of people that person is intercoaching. Okay, so you want to have enough. Hey, there's Josh. So you want to have enough shows on the books so you see enough people, so you get enough practice with the things that you're going to be implementing. Anything else? There were 2 other things I thought of.
Well, I was just going to say that you want a strong show schedule because inevitably shows are going to cancel. So you want to have enough that if one or two cancel, you still have enough in place to make your month.
Yep, that was one of the things I have. We don't want to lose momentum or worry about losing bookings when either a show cancels or a host wants to sign up and take the bookings from the show to help get started. You don't want to then be backpedaling. So you want to have enough in the pipeline, and you want to feel confident in your ability to say, okay, I got to let out all the stops at my next couple of shows because I got to really beef up the bookings there. You want to be able to feel like you can pull a rabbit out of your hat or your apron pocket and get the bookings that you need to keep the momentum going. Exactly. And then the last thing I thought about is when we have a full show calendar and we're selling and we're booking and we're recruiting, we're excited, we're confident, right? And we're enthusiastic. And let me tell you, enthusiasm is contagious. And when you can, from your heart, you know, with you know, very, what's the word I'm trying to think of? With just, you know, heartfelt enthusiasm, when you can convey that, people are going to want to book with you. They're going to want more information about the business, for sure. So those are all the reasons why you want to keep your show schedule strong. All right. And now let's talk about, because you guys have been in business. We've got Kelly, who's been in business 2 weeks. Josh, maybe 3 months. David is within his first 3 months, and you know, but together we've got some experience. So, what have you guys found so far that works well to help you get bookings at your shows? What are you guys currently doing that's working?
I'm just asking.
What's that?
I'm just asking. That's to me, that's what works best. I just ask everyone. It doesn't matter the place to know it or not. I just ask.
Ask everyone. Don't prejudge. I don't care if they're 85 years old or 14. If a 14-year-old comes to my party and is having a great time, I say, hey, do you want to have like a parent-daughter cooking show? And I've had them happen before. Yes, so ask everybody. What else works?
I have to apologize. What was the question?
What do you do right now currently at your parties that has worked in getting future parties booked?
I find that the more I'm talking about how it helps the host earn half off items at future parties, that works better than I thought it would.
Absolutely. People want to help their friend when they know their friend is going to get a half price item. And sometimes I'll even say to my host as we're setting up, I'll say, what is the biggest ticket item you would love to get at half price when someone books from your party? So if they say like a baking stone, I'll say, oh, come on, half price. I mean, we're talking knife block sets. So I kind of lead the witness a bit. And then when we get to that part in the party where I say, you know, and, you know, do you know what our host gets when you guys book tonight? I get a half price item. And hey, Josh, what is it that we were talking earlier? What is it you said you wanted to get at half price? And Josh is like, oh, a knife block set. And then I say, who'd like to start their party with a knife block set? And all of a sudden people are like, oh, they want to get the earliest booking so that the host orders that knife block set from them. Yeah. Awesome. And that's one that's not so obvious. So good for you. What else?
Talking about the host rewards when they book a party for themselves.
Absolutely. If you guys aren't doing some kind of booking talk, if you're at in-home parties, you got to set aside a couple minutes to let them know what's in it for them. If you're doing virtual parties, don't just post about the host bonus, but also the host rewards. You know, make sure you're building that into, and not just one post. Make sure you're weaving it into a number of posts, because one post is easy to miss. So if you're posting about a big ticket item, you could say, and by the way, this is a really popular item that many of my hosts choose at half off.
I have another one too, and sure. I can't remember if I got this from one of the other Rockstars calls or something I read online, but I the last couple in-home parties, I kind of judge the crowd, and I'll say, hey, if I book 3 parties at the show, I'm going to add another free item to the host order. Or I had a smaller party and I said 2, because I figure still, if I do something in the $10 and under, the host will be excited and then cheer her friends on. And then all of a sudden, and so far I haven't had anybody meet that target, but I've come close. maybe somebody has booked who wouldn't have otherwise.
Yes, and this is this, I forget where this idea originated. I don't know. In 23 years, I think I've had 3 ideas that were actually originating from my brain, and the rest we just, everybody shares ideas, which is great. Yeah, you can offer, whether it's virtual or at home, you can offer a bonus for 3 bookings. And a lot of times people will put it within a certain time frame, like 3 bookings held within 6 weeks. So that way they're not booking 6 months out. They're booking in within 6 weeks. And if you're doing a virtual party, you can do they have little images of balloons. So you have 3 balloons and all of a sudden 1 balloon pops. 2 more bookings, who else is going to help the host? And then another balloon pops when another party's booked. And yes, when I first heard this idea, the person was giving away something that seemed rather big when the third party held, but he said he only had to actually give it away 3 times in a year. Now what happened was, like Josh said, it didn't always happen, but people went for it.
Sort of fast.
So they'd get 2 bookings instead of 1, or they'd get the 3 bookings, but not always did all 3 of them hold in the 6 weeks. But when you think about, if you're offering this consistently, so that you're consistently getting 2 to 3 bookings instead of maybe 1 to 2 per party, exponentially, it's going to be huge. Huge. I don't know if someone's got a little guy's deep voice in the background.
The internet. It doesn't care about who
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else, but I feel that the virtual world actually makes it a little easier because you can IM people individually and comment on their participation and how excited they are, and and you can't necessarily do that as easily at a live party.
I think that both booking and recruiting comes more easily very often at virtual parties, because people don't, if you're talking about bookings, they have to clean their house. They don't have to buy ingredients. They don't have to worry about their big dog that's going to bite people, or their bad driveway that you can't get up in the middle of winter. So so it's pretty easy. Plus, in virtual parties, we can do them in batches. It's not like, oh, sorry, I don't have that night open. It's like, yeah, I'll throw another party into the mix that week. So absolutely. And for sure, one of the ideas that I have heard that has worked very well with virtual parties is working with your hosts and having them reach out to at least 5 of their friends that they think would do well and have great parties, and say, hey, I think you do really great at hosting. And if you hosted, I would definitely attend. I'd jump in and be chiming in. You want me to have my Pampered Chef consultant contact you. So partner with your host. Your host is going to pick out those people who love to entertain, who love free stuff. If it's a virtual party, the host is going to pick out those people who are always on Facebook posting food and do great posts and interact and stuff like that. So definitely go into it with intention. Success in this business doesn't mean you spend a lot more time on your business, but it definitely means you work with intention. Don't just go and hope you get parties. You're going to the party anyway. You're going to spend the same amount of time there, whether you work with intention or not. So set a goal. Talk with your host. I don't just talk with my host like, hey, let's aim for a $1,000 party. I also say, hey, do you want to go for 3 bookings? If you get 3 bookings, not only will you get a half price item in each one of those parties, but at the third party, I'll give you $50 in free. And I've only had to give it away once in 23 years. I haven't been offering it for 23 years, but in all the time I've been offering it, I've only had to pay that out once. So talk with your hosts about it. Do you guys, when you're doing in-home parties, do you guys talk to your hosts about outside bookings? Or even virtual parties, do you talk to your hosts about outside bookings?
If my hosts have a big item that they like, I always tell them if they get, outside bookings ahead of time, that I will, figure out a deal that could be their extra, another half off item, or whatever. But I always try to get them to give me 3 bookings before I even start the party. And I think that's because, like you say, not every one of them holds. So if you start off with 3 and then you get to the party and you get 1 or 2 more, you're pretty good chance of having at least the, 2 bookings that are going to hold. So, but I offer another half price item, or for an example, when the waffle pan came out, I had a whole bunch of hosts that wanted that waffle pan. It's $25. So I thought to myself, if they're going to give me extra bookings, I can handle that. You know what I mean? I can work that in, on her, like you say, on there with their discount and everything else. It doesn't end up costing $25.
Yeah. And along with encouraging your hosts and incentivizing, I always say that in order for someone to do something, they need to have the will and the skill. They have to want to do it, and then they have to know how to do it. So it's great to offer an incentive, but you don't want to just leave it there, because then they go, gee, gosh, I hope I get 3 bookings. But if they have no idea how to do that, chances are they're not going to get those 3 bookings. So if you say to them, okay, so here's this incentive that I'm offering for these 3 bookings. So, we'll probably get 1 or 2 at your show, but let me talk to you about how you're likely to get 1 or 2 outside of your parties. Because, I tell them with the live shows, usually only 1/3 of the local people that you invite will be walking through the door that night. Maybe half will say they can come, but then there'll be a few last-minute cancellations. So then I say to my host, so what I want you to be doing, I want you to be listening for 3 things. Number 1, I want you to be listening for the person who is super disappointed to be missing the party. Okay, so I'll say, if someone says, oh, I love Pampered Chef, I can't believe I have to miss the party, I got da-da-da-da going on that night, I would so much rather be at your party. But when you hear someone who's genuinely disappointed, I'll say to my host, do you think you could say to them something like, oh, hey, you should think about having a party of your own then on a day that works better for you. If you book one, I will totally come to it. And I'll maybe even bring a friend or 2 along. You want me to have my Pampered Chef consultant get in touch with you? And then I'll ask my host, does that sound like something you could say? I have not yet had anybody say, no, I can't say that. Because they're saying it to people who seem genuinely disappointed in missing the party. And then I'll say, the next thing I want you to listen for is those people who say, I can't come, but I'd love to place an order. And then they start placing their order at work with the catalog. Everyone's warming over the catalog, and they're like, I got to stop there. I got to cross that off because I want this instead. Oh, I wish I could buy more, but I got to stop there. So people who want to order more but can't, I'll say you should say to them, oh my gosh, you should have a party to get the rest of what you want for free. If you booked one, I would totally come to it, and I would probably bring a friend or 2. You want me to have my Pampered Chef consultant get in touch with you. So now they've heard the words twice. So say, hey, Kelly, you're going to be my pretend host. So now I say, Kelly, there's one other group of people I want you to be listening for, and those are the people who can't come. Say, I'm sorry I can't make it. And you say, that's okay. Would you like to see a catalog, or do you want me to send you a link so you can check out the online catalog? And they say, I am too broke. The first thing I want you to do is find out, are they not coming because they're broke? Because if that's the case, they need to come. They need a fun, free night out with friends. But if they say, no, seriously, I'm busy that night. So it's a pop quiz, Kelly. They say, I can't come. I love Pampered Chef, but I'm broke. So here's a pop quiz. What do you think you should say to them?
You can earn free products by having your own party.
Yes! Great. And then the next thing is, if you booked it,
I get a half price. I'll get the half price item, plus I'm in a contest to win more.
Oh, there you go. But you could also just say what I had said before, which is, if you booked it, I'd come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one.
That one. And
I
then
have no brain tumor here. We're good.
and the third thing is, do you want me to?
What?
The third thing is, do you want me to? Have my
yeah, that one.
Well, you didn't do that good on the quiz, but that's okay. But I give them the words twice, and then the third time, I'm saying, okay, it's a pop quiz. So they work through the words out loud as they're stumbling over the words with me. But, now they're out there and they know what to look for, and they kind of know what to say. Yes, Erica.
What was the third thing that you just said?
What, the 3 kinds of people, or what to say?
What to say. The very last thing you said before you transitioned.
Oh, do you want me to have my Pampered Chef consultant connect with you?
Thank you.
So you should totally have a party on a day that works better for you. If you did, I would come and I would probably bring a friend. And because a lot of people are worried about who would come, I'll come and I'll bring a friend. And then, do you want me to have my Pampered Chef consultant reach out to you? And if they say yes, then they feel comfortable giving us their contact information. And yeah, they can get us outside bookings. I would say in my average month, I probably have 4 to 5 bookings that are there waiting for me when I arrive per month. I usually have, 8 to 10 parties, so it's not every single host that's doing this. But hey, that's 4 to 5 more bookings than I would have had otherwise. Because when I forget to talk about with my host, I get 0. So it does make a difference. All right, anything else that works to getting dated shows on the calendar by the time the virtual party ends or by the time you're walking out the door at the in-home party? Yes, David.
Cricket.
I think it was Lynn who said working it into the conversation, but it's also being so alert when you're just out shopping, out doing things. You hear things out of the corner of your ear, and I don't know about you, but my ears prick up like I'm a dog, and I go, ooh, opportunity. And I walk over, I insert myself into the conversation, and I wait till the time is right to bring it up. But it can happen everywhere, just not in the context of a Pampered Chef party or even anything Pampered Chef related.
Absolutely. And that is one of the habits that you want to get into, is just to kind of, when you're out and about, be listening for things. Listening for needs that we can fill. And Josh did that online when he was scrolling through, and oh, there's this person that needs to fill a kitchen. So be listening for that for sure. But actually this week we're focusing on specifically, once the bookings are in the calendar, how to keep it going with those parties.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely. Getting outside bookings and making it a habit to go out once a week or so to be kind of listening. Here's some things that I wrote down. Go to the show with intention and set the goal with the host for the number of bookings you want to shoot for. Consider offering an incentive for 3 bookings, which you guys definitely talked about. Educate the host about how to get those outside bookings or how to work with you during the virtual party or the in-home party to secure bookings. Have the host reach out to 5 people that she thinks might want to host to see if they're interested. That can be for in-home or virtual parties. No matter what we do, we need to connect with guests, whether it's in-home or virtual. People will buy from anybody, but they book with people that they feel connected to. So connect with the guests. At in-home parties, I usually start with, so tell me how you know the host. And when they answer the question, I ask maybe 1 or 2 really lighthearted follow-up questions. Oh, we work together. Oh, really? What is it you do? Oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Do you love your job? Or maybe they say, oh, our kids grew up together. Oh, wow, how many kids do you have? And how old are they? Oh, wow, I bet you're busy. Just little things so you can connect with your customers. And do the same thing in the virtual world. Bless you. You can, give away tickets so that people message you when they arrive. Oh, thanks for joining us. If you want an extra ticket, personally message me and let me know, and then when they message you, you can message them back and they actually see the message. And then you can say, thanks so much for joining us. Here's the secret word. Message me with this word and you get an extra ticket. You give them the ticket and then you say, thanks for joining us. So tell me, how do you know the host? Oh, wow, you guys work together? What is it you do? So everything that you can do at the live party, you can take to the virtual world. Do you guys, when you're at in-home parties, do you choose the recipe based on the host bonus of the month you want to book? I hope so. And if you're not, or if you're doing virtual parties, do you choose the themes based on, or what products you're highlighting based on the month you want to book and the host bonuses for that month? You definitely should. okay? Because then you're going to create desire for those products, and then you say, hey, guess what? After you've created amazing desire, and they're like, oh gosh, I'd love to have that in my kitchen, but oh, it's a little too much money. All of a sudden, they find out they can get it at 60% off. There are some people at in-home parties, they'll bring a little basket of door prizing things. They say, when you pick a date tonight for your party, you get to choose from the basket. Or some people bring gift bags, and it's a party in a bag. So it's all the stuff that you would put in a host packet plus paper goods. And you say, everything is in here except the ingredients. So all the paper plates, napkins, forks, whatever, and your catalogs and specials, and a little slip for a little prize. So if you pick the date on the front of the bag, you get to take the gift bag home. Now they only get to take the gift bag when they book on the spot, and they're going to pick a date that you want because you put the dates on the front of the bag. So you could do something like that. And of course, Lynn said it, talk to every single guest about the business and hosting. And be ready to address hesitations. Do you guys, for 1 month, do you want to create a separate group for us so that things that we refer to, support materials, I can post in there? Or is that just like, oh God, please no, not one more group, I can't take it?
I'm okay with another group.
Okay, how do other people feel? Thumbs
I'm
up?
not quite sure I understand.
We have the Rockstars on the Rise.
Rockstars on the Rise group, and we will keep it active for 1 month.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess
Why not?
you're going to be like, oh my God, no, not another group. But that way, any materials that we refer to, I can just post right in there. Because a while back we created hesitation cards, and I can post them there and you can print them out. And basically they're like little flashcards, like when you were a kid in school, you used flashcards. And on one side of the flashcard, it has a hesitation, and you flip it over and there's the solution.
I have mine hooked right to my date book. You know,
I love it. That's awesome.
it's like when, and you open up my date book, and you know, of course, that's where it is when you do the full checkout, and that, you know, those little notes are there. And sometimes my guests see them, sometimes they don't. But I'll be like flipping through it, and I'm like, I'm still.
Wait a minute, I got a card for that.
Yeah, I got an answer for that.
Yeah, and of course,
I got a solution.
Right? And of course, it's easy to use with a virtual show because nobody can see anyway. So you can,
Right.
you can check those out. All right, so definitely be ready and get used to overcoming hesitations. Okay, it's, you know, if I always say, if they didn't want to have a party, they say no. But if they'd say, I'd love to, but if you have a solution for the but, what's left? I'd
What
love
did you
to. If they say, I would, but I can't because, and you have a solution for that, then what's left is, I will.
What is it that you say that something is a nervous yes? What is the slogan that you say?
Oh, with a recruiting interview, and I asked them on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I never want to sign, and 10 being where do I sign? I want to order my kit right now. What's your number? And they say I'm an 8. And I say, oh, that's just a nervous 10.
I love that saying.
And then I go, you want to hear what the next steps would be if you decide to give it a try? They always say yes. They say, well, the first thing
Maybe,
is the kit. What kit do you like?
I was thinking, I was thinking, you know, people say, oh, maybe I'll do a party. A maybe is just a nervous yes.
That's true. A maybe is a yes with
There's no such thing as a no.
A no is a maybe, and a maybe is a yes in disguise.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, after the party's over, after I've done the first full service checkout, not only do I go over with the host, you know, where her sales are at, but I tell her who's on the fence about hosting. And I'll say, okay, so I talked to Lynn and she's booked. Kelly said her house is too small. And then the host goes, her house is not too small. Her house is fine. It's fine. Well, that's what you can do. She can have it here. Hey, Kelly, have your party here. Seriously, this happens all the time. And I just sit back like the innocent one. Oh, I'll talk to her. If Kelly's already left, she's like, I'll talk to her. She can have it at my house. Because remember, this host wants 3 bookings so she can get all those half price items in the extra 50. And then I'll say, and Erica was thinking about it, but she says she doesn't know anybody. Oh, she knows a ton of people. Oh, you know, and then I'll say to the host, well, hey, you know, I bet if you told her you'd come and that there were a few of your friends who couldn't come tonight who were antsy to come and you'd invite them and bring them with you, I bet she'd feel better about that. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so we're going to be closing in a couple days. So if you can kind of put a bug in there in the next day or two, that'd be awesome. So get your hosts working to secure those bookings.
And it's all about keeping in mind, we have our own goals of what we want to accomplish, what we want to achieve. But the best way to do that is to really keep in mind what we're offering to our hosts, to our guests, to the people that we're talking to about recruiting. We have to make it not about us, but we're coming up with these solutions because they said, I'd love to, but.
Right.
And the motivation is to have a lot of parties, but it's also, here's somebody who thought they couldn't do it, and now I have a reason why they can do it. And it's just a really nice way to come at all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many of you have given somebody who had a hesitation a solution and they were happy? They're like, oh, I never even thought about that. Yeah, I can totally do that now. Anybody ever had that situation? Yeah. So really, if they didn't have a party, they'd say no. If all of a sudden there's a solution, they're usually excited about it. And probably half to 3/4 of the bookings I have in my calendar right now would not be there if it weren't for offering a solution. And I bet probably the same is true with everybody here. And then the last thing is customer care calls. We can make customer care calls 2 days. Well, we can make them anytime. The Pampered Chef talks about 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months after the party. And seriously, guys, I think customer care calls are kind of the unsung hero of the business. What I like to say is it's like pie at Thanksgiving. How many of you like to eat pie as soon as you've done your meal at Thanksgiving? Raise your hand. You eat pie right after the meal. Okay. How many of you are like, no, I need to just like chill for a couple hours and have pie maybe later on in the evening, a couple hours later? That's me. How many of you get up in the middle of the night after Thanksgiving and you eat pie like between midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning? Lynn's raising her hand again. Yeah. How many of you eat pie for breakfast the day after Thanksgiving? That's like my favorite thing.
I love pie.
I know.
What can I say?
So I heard this asked in front of a huge room full of people, and it was amazing. There were hands up and hands down at every point along the way. So when we talk to people at the full service checkout, whether it's a live or virtual party, not everybody's hungry for their pie right after the meal. Some people need to wait a few hours. Some people need to wait till the middle of the night. Some people wait till the next day. Everybody's hungry for pie at a different time. Everybody prefers their pie at different times. Okay, so just because you might have spoken to someone at the full service checkout and they were not hungry for pie doesn't mean that 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months later they don't want pie. Yes?
I think you have to keep an open mind about it, because also people don't always like the same kind of pie. Like, had you said pizza pie, my hand probably would have been up for all of that, because I could eat that at any time of day, you know? So
exactly
so
right.
virtual versus in-house parties versus, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they want a fundraiser. Maybe they want a virtual party.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
I think we miss out on a lot of like registries, wedding registries. If you're not, that is a category in which we don't hit on enough. When we're in a room and you got all these people, and guaranteed there's one person in every single group that you get into that is either getting married soon or just got engaged, or there's always that. And I think we miss that category of people. So that's another, no, but I'm just saying that's another group. That's another time where another slice of pie is, you know what I'm saying? What I'm
So
And
what could
that's
you
a
do to make sure? What could you do to make sure to touch upon that at every single party?
well, like I said,
Make it a habit.
Yeah. How do you make it a habit? Where are you going to fit it in?
Host benefits?
I put it in my quiz. Anything I want to make sure I don't forget, I put in the quiz, because every time I do that quiz, what do? Hey, 5 points if you find my outline. Okay. And then I always have that in my hand when I do the quiz. So I talk about fundraisers, and I talk about wedding registry, bridal showers at every single party, because it's in my quiz. I'm sure to talk about Roundup because it's in my quiz. I'm sure to talk about, you know, all of these things. So if you really want to make sure you get something in there, put it in your outline someplace. And then after you do it a few times, it becomes second nature. So instead of like, nobody forgets, rarely does someone forget to get dressed and walks out of the house in the morning like, got to put my clothes on again. I mean, you just get up and you get dressed. You brush your teeth, you take a shower. David forgets to get dressed. But so again, you want it to become as second nature as brushing your teeth, taking a shower. You know, put it in your outline and use.
Well, I meant that because we're saying the 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. It falls into that category. When you call someone, they may not have mentioned it that night, but they could be saying, you could, hear them say something on the idea of like, I've just been so busy planning a wedding. Oh, you're doing a wedding? You know what I mean? And I've run into that. So that's what I'm saying, that those calls, I'm not very good at that. I have to get in a better habit of that. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that next. So great segue. Let's talk about habits. So we all work differently. Some of us are into technology. Some of us are paper and pen people. Some of us do mainly in-home parties. Others do mainly virtual parties. And some are true hybrids. It's all good because this is not a one-size-fits-all business. But that also means that we're all going to have to work differently to create our own success habits. Okay? Rockstars all have systems, but you know what? They can evolve and vary. Okay, they can vary from person to person, and they can evolve over time. So, the steps in sort of creating success habits. Number one, when it comes to, specifically this week, but any week at all. Number one, choose and hold office hours. And when I say office hours, I mean pockets of time. We don't need hours and hours on campus. So choose your pockets of time. Because you know what? We're all busy. If we wait to have free time, we will probably never have the time. So carve out the pockets of time and commit to them. If you need to get buy-in from a significant other or spouse, discuss it with them. If you need someone to hold you accountable, your office hours, ask somebody to hold you accountable, maybe someone from this group. Next, choose the ideas you want to implement and write them down. Okay, so this week the focus is, because you've already filled your calendar, if you need to buff it up to get a few more, get a few more. And then you want to have some habits in place this week so that you are getting 2 to 3 bookings from every single party that's in your calendar. Okay, so choose the ideas that you want to implement. It can be from what we discussed tonight, or it can be something that you think up on your own, or that you see from one of the outlines in Avengers or out there. Choose the ideas you want to implement and write them down. The third step is create ways so you will implement the ideas that you want. Don't just remember. For instance, if you want to make sure you talk to every single host about 3 bookings per party, and you're using the host coaching from the home office, print it out, and maybe you're going to write in 3 booking incentive. Maybe you want to tell your host, who to look out for and what to say. Write it in there. Maybe you want to type something up. Maybe you want to write it by hand, whatever. But put it in there so you don't go into autopilot and just do what you've always done. If you're not doing a full service checkout at your virtual parties, maybe one of the things you want to do is add a Google survey to your virtual party outline so that you get those surveys and you contact people to do full service checkout. I believe Erica and Josh created one that they posted in Avengers, so you don't even have to recreate the wheel. It's already been done for you. Maybe some of you are like Lynn saying, I need to do those customer care calls. Well, maybe you're going to put a reminder in your phone or pick out a couple of pockets of time where you're going to do 10 minutes of customer care calls twice a week. Put a reminder in your phone, write it in your calendar, what have you. So you want to choose what you're going to be doing and then carve out the time and then put it in there so you don't forget. And then step 4, do what you said you were going to do. Work with intention over the next 30 days. And guys, I want to say this. Don't let perfection get in your way. No system is going to be perfect. Something done fairly well is better than working on a perfect system that doesn't end up being implemented for weeks, months, or maybe forever. All right? And remember, when it comes to habits, in the beginning, they can be uncomfortable, even unbearable. I mean, if you've ever quit smoking or started a really strict, exercise regime or whatever, in the beginning, they can be kind of unbearable. Then they become just slightly uncomfortable, but then we become unstoppable. And when they become second nature. All right, so here's your official assignments for week 1, and I will be posting these, but I want you to hear them too. Make sure your calendar's in good shape. Okay, some of you didn't quite have the 8 bookings, but are close to it. Make sure that you set some time aside this week to get there.
What month are we talking about? September?
Oh, by the way, the next 30 days. So September 11th to October 11th. So your early October bookings will count. So in that 30-day rolling period, you want to keep to the 8. Number 2, tonight, if possible, and then every Sunday, tonight or tomorrow morning, if it's too late and you want to just hit the sack. Tonight or tomorrow morning, and then every Sunday, I need you to send me your show schedule for the next 30 days. So it's a rolling 30 days. And your office hours for the next 7 days. If you're like me, they're going to vary from week to week. So, and I'm never going to keep track of what your office hours forever, but like I can manage one week at a time. Schedule a time to talk with me one-on-one, hopefully in the next 72 hours. Choose 1 to 3 ideas from this call, or something that you dream up, or something that you heard of before that you want to implement, that are specifically going to help you secure 2 to 3 bookings per party. And determine how you will implement those ideas without just simply trying to remember them. And then I do want to challenge you all to do 10 minutes 3 times this upcoming week, customer care calls. If you've done some parties. He was wrapping up his first party. He's got 6 people on his team. Okay, but he's got his calendar in good shape now. So set aside 10 minutes 3 times this week. And David, you can do out and abouts. You're good at those. So do out and abouts instead. And by the way, on Consultants Corner, there are guidelines to follow or outlines to follow, words to say for customer care calls. Basically, when I do a customer care call, hi, this is Karen Batty. We met at Kelly's party last month, and I was just touching base to make sure you've taken your products out of the box and you're enjoying them. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, great. I'm so excited. Hey, do you have any questions about any of your products? Are you using them? Yep, I sure am. Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, hey, while I have you on the phone, are you interested in hearing about some specials we've got going on? Okay. I don't care whether they say yes or whether they say no. If you at least ask them if they want to hear about some specials, they say, nope, I'm really all set. You say, okay, you're done. You can check off the box, because the goal is 25 two-way conversations. And that counts as full service checkouts count toward it. Okay, so if you've got 2 shows and you see 10 people per party, then the goal is, doing some customer care calls. We're not going to get everybody on the phone. Or you can message people. If you want to do it through Facebook Messenger, you can do that too, or text them. As long as they reply and there's some kind of conversation going on. If they say, yes, I'd love to hear about the specials going on, what are you going to start with?
Blender.
the free blender that they can earn when they put their toe in the water and give this business a try. Don't say become a consultant. That sounds like get married, have a baby, 30-year mortgage. It sounds big and heavy. So they say, I'd love to hear about, yeah, sure, I'll hear about some specials. Great. Yeah, we have got this amazing new cooking blender that just hit the market on September 1st. And you can get it and those people who give this business a little try this month, they can get it for free. Would you like to hear more about that?
Enrichables?
Oh, yeah, you can tell them about Enrichables, too.
Mm-hmm.
So tell them about the blender. See if they want to book. If it's no to the business, see if they want to book to get that blender or one of our other power tools. And then, yeah, add in Enrichables. Oh, my gosh, we got these new Enrichables. Easy way to make whatever you or your kids like to eat, your dish is more delicious. Yeah. So write the things down that you want to cover that you think are important when we're talking about specials this month. But Enrichables don't hit the market until October 1st.
Mm-hmm. So for October bookings, October parties.
Yep, that counts for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we took a vote and decided we would have a group, a Rockstars on the Rise group for the next 30 days. So I will create that tomorrow. I will add you all to it, so be on the lookout for that. And I will post the expectations as well as the wording that I gave. I would love for you guys to jump in. As you're going through this week, if you are all of a sudden listening to a training call and hear a great idea or you dream something up, please post it in there. Because, like I said, in 23 years, I think I've only come up with 3 original ideas. So we can all sort of build up from each other. And if you post something and then David says, oh, not only that, but then you could do this. And then Kelly says, oh, and then you could do this. All of a sudden, we've got a good idea. Now it's a fabulous idea. So please be willing to check in on that at least a few times a week. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Awesome.